that I said that, wow, these are remnants of good high elo fighting mechanics, which we will look at right here. So here, what do we forget again? We forgot the W again before we change forms.
Time to make a stand.
Hey everyone. So I almost uploaded this full session that I just did with someone, and it's mid Jayce, Emerald Diamond level, and I wanted to just upload the whole thing unedited, this whole clip on YouTube for y'all to learn from, because we can cover quite a lot of the learning points. But I didn't turn my mic on for the recording. So all right. So you know what? So we can close this. My mic isn't turned on. It's just him talking. So I'm like, okay, fuck. So now what we're gonna do instead is I will just go over it again, but in quicker succession. So now without him, right? Because now it's just me. So I'll close this, turn on League, and yeah, we'll go over the games we talked about because I still have them fresh in memory. And unfortunately, you won't get to hear the the raw gist of what happened in what we discussed and stuff, but at least you will still be able to get the learning points, so the learning points would still be well across. So the focus was the early game because his early game felt weak, he was saying, and inconsistent, and we later on learned that he is a top lane player, Cassiopeia, around master level, 400 LP, that came down to learn mid lane Jayce. So, okay, and of course, because I still remember the learning points, I will just skip a lot of the discussion bits where we essentially talk about stuff or uncover stuff together. So I'll just go straight into the learning points. So it starts immediately from the level 1 cheese. That's something we talked about. This ward as well, right? So yep. So we really start over here. Wait, let me just double check if I'm recording. Okay, I am, and my voice is holy shit. Okay, traumatized now. What the hell? Okay, so this level 1 trade, immediately we learned that instead of trading with range form like this, we really want to trade with melee form because you tank a lot more. So you want to stay on melee form and continue to essentially pressure the Ryze. That would be better. But let's say this happens, because this would happen at times, right? So we start, that seems good. And here's the big learning point. Look, so as melee Jayce mid Doran's Blade, you realize that, oh, Ryze has 3 potions. That means that it's likely that Ryze will out-sustain us here in the long run, because she has 3 potions, we have 1. So what our key needs to do now, at least what I'm trying to help him realize, which we concluded at the end, what he learned from it, is you need to shove and reset. That is the basis of mid lane. Okay, it's about tempo, it's about shove, reset, so you get the advantage. So right now, when is our timer to shove? Level 2. So we get the level 2 prio, and then we shove in. We ignore the Ryze. We literally ignore him. If he comes in to let us Q on him, we kill him. Because over here, I remember he asked something like, oh, what if the opponent is really good and he just spaces your Q? You know, he doesn't let your melee Q hit him. That's fine. Just look to essentially shove the wave, go back, then you just ignore him. So if he doesn't want to play, like if he wants to essentially give up his agency, which he can't anyway, then you just shove and go back. So right now, like I said, the goal right now should be getting level 2, shove, reset. All right. We talked about it somewhere here. So somewhere here, he was like, oh, what if the Ryze is really good in like spacing out the backline Q? Ignore that. Q the back, turn on your W, he doesn't kill you. And that's where the knowledge part needs to come in. The knowledge part, you need to know that he cannot kill you. But of course, where I'm helping this player get from Diamond to Master, he's learning Jayce as well. This is his first month in Jayce. Pretty impressive for a first month in a new champion like that. But at the same time, because of that, he would have the fundamentals to know or to understand that, yeah, okay, needs to go back. So that was what he's missing. He's missing this fundamental. So you need to, yeah, essentially not overstay here. You see these moments of overstaying. With Q, turn on W, auto the back, change forms, however you choose to clear it, but clear it one way or another, just do it fast, and you leave, and you get to go back. Okay? That was the key learning point from this. For those who ever go through this in your own games, if you take like a level 1 trade and not the best trade, plus they out-sustain us, it's okay. Go back. And level 2, go back, come back. You can get refillable, and then you're happy. Okay? So that was the main learning point here. And then what happened here? Okay, here was on the skill tree. We learned that we should take W level 2. Okay, it's all more power. And there's only one instance where I'll take E level 2. The one instance I'll take E level 2 is if you need to gap close the enemy. So if you notice that, maybe we'll see that later, okay? In the next game, we watch Ahri game, you actually needed to gap close. You needed that a little bit of gap close for you to get closer, and then you have kill threat. If not, it's pretty weak without that little level 2 advantage. It's pretty weak because if you all play Jayce and you have the level 1 shock blast, you're gonna realize it's weak. Okay, so W level 2, it's a lot more powerful. We did talk about Conqueror and Electrocute, and he hasn't tried Conqueror yet. I did recommend him to perhaps give it a shot. It is strong, and at this point, what I was saying, I remember here, is if you're like this, you see this point of Jayce, it's like your lane is fine, just take a recall, because we're like doomed now, we're low HP, we don't want to stay this. Go back, so we can just go back. Plus, we're at timer for level 3 jungle gank as well if they wanted to. So right here, the right call is to just take a, I won't say it's an L. It's definitely not a good recall, but it's not bad. So it's just like okay, it's like mediocre. Just take a mediocre recall and call it a day. You know, just accept it and come back. But of course, this was overstaying, and with this overstaying, this recall kind of greedy recall. And here he told me he was just getting tilted, so he just kind of stayed because he was tilted. I mean, can't help you with that, but that's more of like a, you know, understanding what went wrong. So yeah, we could have just walked back in, recall. The best play would have been the level 2 recall, which would be the level 2 all in, shove the wave, and when I say all in, I mean all in the minion wave. Yeah, and then you just recall if that happens. Okay, and then now we come back and we talk about the builds again. If you go for a tier like this, you're sending me a message that you're giving up the early game. Essentially, this is more so for top lane. When you go grasp, Jayce, top lane, and you're just playing the scale a little bit. But if you're playing mid like this with electrocute, you cannot afford to lose your early game. And right now, Jayce also got changed, right? The recent change that it's bonus AD over base AD. So because of that, longsword is a lot stronger. Okay, and you need that power. You need all the power you can get because electrocute. You really need to win that early game. Yeah, so that's partially what we learned as well here. Again, because now I'm just going over the stuff again, so you unfortunately won't get to hear his responses or his learning points. But that's just recapping. Here, same thing. Because of this, I have nice gold now, and this was a major learning point that he realized that this is how mid lane works. When you're at these points in the game like this, and you see how he's playing, you shove. Okay, so you use your Q W on the back wave. Doesn't matter if he hits. I don't care if he hits us. So his best combo on us is what? Q W Q E Q. That's the Ryze best combo on us with an auto attack. That's fine. That brings us to around 70% HP. We ignore him. So essentially what I'm saying here is you ignore him completely, hit the back with your QW, auto the cannon a bit, change forms, blast the whole wave, like with a shock blast, and just leave. If he continues to hit you, you'll be around 60% HP. But my point is, it doesn't matter. He doesn't kill you. That's all you need to know here is he doesn't kill you. You reset. And this is the thing that leads on with the level 2 thing on the big learning point of mid lane Jayce is learning how to reset. The reset timers are extremely important to grasp. So when you know these, it makes your life a lot easier. So you don't feel stuck in the lane. All right. I'm sure some of you may feel that in your games. So hopefully this relates. So here, like I said, yeah, he just needs to shove it way earlier before that even comes up. Because look at this, what we're watching here as well. I was saying that the wave is not even spawned yet. So we actually get to shove this real quick. Like I said, right now. Don't stall it. Just go. Boom. Clear this wave. And then we get to reset kind of right on time to fetch this next one. It's fine. Essentially, you get a cheater recall again. But because we kind of elongated by overstaying, not sure what to do. So you see, we overstay. By the time we do the clear, which at least we do the clear, but look at where the minions are. It's already almost here. But of course, this then means you need to take a L. You need to take a bad recall. Sometimes you need to take bad recalls. That's just the nature of it, but that's because of the mistake we made. And because of the mistake we made, we're forced to take a bad recall. And here he told me I was just tilted, so he's like, Ryze, kill me. And like, yeah, well, we both know that's not the right way to do it, and that's just it. It can be called a good death if you manage to kind of get a cannon with it, but that's not the case, right? He was just tilted and just died, and it is what it is. Okay, moving on here. Now we get a nice plate, and guess what? Here, I was prompting him a question like, guess what? What do we do here? And it's the same thing. If y'all thought that, oh, is this shove recall, shove roam? Correct. If that's what you're thinking, that's absolutely correct. So that was basically the core learning point again, back to it, is you shove and you go back. So right now, you actually blast the wave, QE, however you want to clear it. Of course, there's better ways of clearing it. Is you auto the front wave, you blast it, and you change form to you slam the back. and then after you hit the cannon, there's better ways to clear it like that. But the main point is clear it though. So you clear it and then you move. So when I say move is you see if there's opportunities, there's no opportunities, so we go back to base. So here we should recall already. All right? We should have recalled already. And probably can get if we shove that, we can, the pink ward matters too. So without the pink ward by, we're close to Dirk. If you can't get it, if you can't get the Dirk, then do it here then. Okay? That's my point is I remember that was the main learning point from this. All right? Is without this, look, we're close to Dirk. First of all, pink ward, don't buy it. And then we would be close to our first power spike, Dirk. So we will be able to blast this wave. Like I said, again, I was trying to show him this, which it's understood now that you basically blast the front, go to the back. It doesn't matter if the Ryze full combos us at this point with these items. Ryze combos us to maybe 70 to 75% HP. We're basically completely fine. And then just, that's how you get the agency to play. So we needed to go back for Dirk. Because the longer we stay here, and know that the benefits here. Who does this benefit more, the Jayce or the Ryze? Definitely the Ryze, right? The Ryze is just waiting for Rod of Ages. We have Electrocute, we scale off hard with Electrocute. It's not even that we have Conqueror. I also talk about the usage of Conqueror this game. I see Silent, I see Vi. So Conqueror is pretty helpful. Plus Ryze is also like one of those mages that's a bit more, it's like a bruiser mage. It's like a fighting mage, right? But it's not that Electrocute is bad. Electrocute is completely fine because Electrocute gives us that kill threat in the first 5 levels. It's fine, but it's just it gives you a heavier risk factor where you need to make sure your early game goes well, which is why that early game was so important. When I talk about the recall timers, it matters a lot. So, okay, that's fine. Now we need to look for the reset. That reset should have happened, but he said, I was greeting for the cannon. And I get that. And then you just recall after the cannon then. So right here, our teammates actually gave us a get out of jail free card here with our team coming down to help us here. And this was the moment that we should have taken this opportunity and left, not staying. See this? This was a huge mistake by staying here because we have Dirk in base, we have item spike in base. Yeah, it could have been a Dirk and another longsword, for instance. So much power, so much more power at least. And like I said earlier already, staying is just not, it's just not wise. Plus, the higher you get, if this was like master level, I was saying, what if the Vi chose to hit us? We're just dead. It's just not even that. It's just not worth staying. All right, at the heart of it. And here we chose to push this because we saw the Ryze moving, but of course we shouldn't have been here. And I believe that was the core learning points from this, because at this point his game was slipping away, and Ryze has Rod, and he can no longer win this lane. That is true. And because of that, your playstyle would change a little bit. So because of this, your playstyle would change to I'm just gonna hit the wave. That's what we're saying, and you're just gonna look to roam, like do these coin flip roams to try to come back. Because at this point, I don't want you to be at this point to begin with, but when you're at this point, this is your only play left. And then with that, we rounded up this. Well, it took a lot longer, but now I'm just summarizing points. Well, with this, we rounded up this. We learned about some recall timings, and we move on to the next clip. And with the next clip, you'll see identical stuff starts to come up. I think he said to ask me look at this one, I believe. Yep, correct. So with this next clip against the Ahri, he noted that the Ahri wasn't very good, so he managed to get away with stuff. And he was correct. But at the same time, look, same starting. She's the Ahri, and this was a minor bit that I touched on, that the minor thing here is you want to stay in your melee form for as long as possible to soak the damage. So this damage should be done to us with our melee form. And we still have the time. We have time to stay melee form to auto her more because we don't have to switch yet. So you basically don't switch until you have to, meaning that he's already too deep in turret range because now we're not in turret range yet. We can stay in melee form, tank his damage, and then we switch at the end, So, okay, so this was well received, and we move on. And this, we move on to wait for the second wave, and we get level 2, right? So that was really nice. That was good poke. And level 2, okay, boom, here's the kill threat. So right now, looking over this, we realize that this was a kill threat opportunity that he missed. For those who are watching, if you see it, that's great. If you don't, let me tell you. So this is one of those occasions that I'll take E level 2, because I'm lacking a bit of distance for the Q, yeah? So you take E, you speed yourself up with the E, all right, change forms, and you slam down on the Ahri. The Ahri's dead. If the Ahri flashes just a millisecond late, she's dead. So the way she has to flash is she has to flash our Q damage or our slam down. Okay? Either she knows it or she doesn't. If she flashes immediately on the Q slam down and dodges the Q damage, okay, she lives. Congrats. But if she messes up, just like I said, just a millisecond she messes up, she didn't flash the Q damage. Even if she flashes after, she's dead. Because for those who play Jayce, you would know that when Jayce Q autos, your auto attack extends beyond the flash. Okay, so even if the Ahri flashes, the auto still goes through. And now the Ahri is super low, and you just literally finish off with a flash ignite E auto, something like that. Just dead already. And the maximum that you would take is one turret shot. That's all for Jayce. You would just take one turret shot, and this Ahri is dead. So he saw it. That's why we didn't drone on it too much. I was saying at the start that the way I go about my sessions, of course, is we focus on the points, and if you understand the point, that's great. We can move on. If you don't, you can slow me down. We can, of course, talk about it because it's important that I help you understand it, right? Doesn't matter if I get it. I need to help you get it. That's my job. So, yeah. So he understood this pretty quickly, and he understood that, oh, this was a key opportunity that he missed. Great. So hopefully you viewers can see as well that was a key opportunity he missed. All right. Needed to change forms, slam down, and like I said, Ahri could have dodged it if she flashed perfectly, but most of the time, players don't play perfectly, and then yeah. Here we saw that she took Q level 2, and we have to stop being wary of her E, but she doesn't have E because she took Q level 2. She took W level 1, Q level 2, doesn't have E. Um, and then we continue onwards here. Not much here, except here I was saying that 2 points of Q is a bit better than taking W. You take W like this if you have Conqueror, because it helps you stack up Conqueror quicker. W is really good for Conqueror, but otherwise you take 2 points of Q instead. It's a lot better. And he actually found a roaming window because of that early game, and he got a kill. That's great. And then he looked for a reset. Everything's great so far, and he has early Duck. So powerful, right? So powerful. Correct. That was amazing. And then now we are back. Now we have a lot of power on the Ahri, and we spent a long time talking about this, but essentially it's better to stay on the melee form here. All right, you start with melee form here, and you just full combo him through melee form. If he dares walk up, he has to walk up at some point, and he's just essentially checkmate. Yeah, that's one way you deal with the Ahri. Like I said here, melee form and checkmate. If he even dares walk up, you Q and your Q lands. The only way you can deal with it if he cancels your Q with his charm. That's the only way you can deal with it. That's the only way. But of course, you're behind minions. It's really not that easy because you're standing behind your minions, and then you Q on top and you slow him, and he's doomed, and you get a fat trade. Can't even kill him. So that's just how you execute it. And I extended this to also. This is also how you trade it for LeBlanc. But yeah, that's the key learning point from this. And if this happens, let's say our HP is like this, right? What do we do here? What do we learn from earlier? We look to reset. Correct. If that's what I'm sure every viewer thought of the same thing at the same time. Correct. Reset. So you essentially shove this wave and you reset. Yeah. So here QW, and you can look through here as well. So here, same thing, look to reset. Yeah, so this is too slow. This is too slow because we're not looking to reset. We can get hit by a jungler. And this was another core learning point as somebody that coming from top lane to mid lane for this our player here today, I mean. That he is not yet aware, it's more of a minor point, of where to stand in mid lane on getting hit by jungle pressure. Because ideally you should be standing towards the side of your jungler. Yeah? So you should be standing towards the side of your jungler because we see the jungler's top side, so he can react to us. If we're standing the opposite side, and this was, let's say, a master level Diana, okay, how easy is it for the Diana to kill us? Very, and I'll show you the angle that he made the mistake of. Okay, so right now, this is too far for the Jarvan to even help us. Okay, what if the Diana here, I was saying, just Q flash over this wall? If the Diana would Q flash immediately, if I was the Diana, I would Q flashes immediately, and just E on the Jayce, and this Jayce is doomed, right? Even if the Jayce flashes, you have another E to follow up. So essentially, doomed. And this mistake is a core mistake because of the way we're standing in the lane. You want to stand to your jungler. Otherwise, this Jarvan is helpless to the Diana showing up and one-shotting you. Helpless. And Jayce is easy to kill, especially without grasp, without access to the grasp and bone plating. And mid just doesn't play like that. So, yeah, that's just how it is. But this is minor, so I said this is a minor point, not as important as the previous. I need him to get the previous points down. That's the major focus, which is the shove and reset, which he does here. Don't remember too much, but okay, yeah. So shove and reset gets a priority here, and there should be a reset once again. And this is a common, I would say, habit that he got from top lane Cassiopeia. So he's a top lane Cassiopeia player. And Cassio can stay on these lanes because Cassio is pretty strong with the tier as well. And here you stay to fight. But Jayce, you won the temple. You won the temple to reset. So this really you don't stay here. You would have just left. And we ended up leaving a lot later. And there's no end. That's it. Oh, and the pink ward, I was saying this was a bad habit that he carries across. That he likes to get this pink ward early. Don't get the pink ward early. Really, Jayce scales with items so well, and it's just not that worth it. Yeah, that's great trade. Uh, and with that, he was able to find the priority here. That's nice. And then back to mid lane. And now he has a lot of power on him. So it's about. Oh, and here we were talking about this again. So he just made a play top, yeah? So because he just made a play, what will be on your minds now is you have gold to spend. And yes, he has gold to spend in base. And because you have gold to spend in base, you want to look to reset. You can take short trades, but ideally, what you're looking to is reset. So right now, you see Ahri just use her abilities. She just use her OQ, right? Slam down the wave. That's it. Even if she charms W us, she's not going to kill us. But that's where the game knowledge comes in. Again, we're talking about the same point earlier, same as Ryze, but you essentially shove it and you reset because you have gold to spend in base. All right, and that's where symbiotic shoes come in as well. When we talk about we yap at us a long time to help him understand that, and he sees it. But again, it's just a summary, so I'm just gonna help you see it right away, which is shove, reset. That's where symbiotic shoes come in really handy, especially at this point. He already has his shoes soon, I think. After yeah, and then that's just how it is. Yep, right here. Look, 815, because he got a kill. He has it, and then this should have been a. This is a good angle to get that shoes. Of course, against this comp, Merc Threat seems to be incredible value, so that will arguably be a better buy here, just because of their team. Just so much magic resist, and yep, that's the key learning point here. And this was laning. Um, reset, another one. So this is another reset angle. At best, you greed for a plate, but then the reset needs to come. That's where the symbiotic shoes come in really handy, with it or not. But here I was showing him the value of symbiotic shoes is learning the reset timers is important because as much as I tell you about the power of symbiotic shoes, if you don't know the recall timers, it doesn't matter, right? So I'm trying to show him here about 10:13. I remember this because it what just happened. Here, reset. You can reset even right now in front of the lane. Just start your recall. And the reset takes 4 seconds, yeah? So let's count it together. I remember it. So 4, 5, 6, 7. We're back base. You see the power of that boots, the tempo that boots bring. Boom, you're in base now. See that? And you come out right in time to fetch this later on, and you can even stop him from recalling. But you see this power instead of staying? Look how weak we are when we stay. First of all, we're vulnerable, we're killable now, and we're holding a chunk of gold in base. 1k, 1.2k. What the hell? We're holding a chunk of gold in base and we haven't reset yet. So the core, I suppose, mistake that this player is making fundamentally is the recall timers seems to be missing. So we're not aware of the recall timers. So we're missing the recall timers and we're staying even if we're weak. I know he told me that what he was thinking is he wanted to be here for the Drake. But yeah, hopefully you see it as the viewers as well. We're not needed. And even if we stay, we're weak when we stay. So we're actually hurting them instead. Because it's not like we're trying to like finish off the last bit and leave. They just don't need us. We're staying here and we're giving kill threat to Ahri. So Ahri actually has kill threat on us here when we're back here. Yeah? So, okay. Once you got that, which he did, and then he went back again, and what was this one? Here you just get prio and you move. So if your laner chooses to not interact with you, I covered a few examples. Xerath, Syndra, some of these matchups, they don't interact with you too much. Just shove and get priority to move. And that's exactly what he did. So you get priority and then he moves and he gets, yeah, great. So that's well played. And again, just to recap, of course, I am summarizing this. This is not the session we just did. Of course, it will go a lot slower, but this is just summarizing. Yeah, essentially, you want to remember your recall timers, and when your opponent doesn't interact with you, you can just shove and you move, so you get these roam timers off, and that would be how you play mid Jayce. So that's great. And now I believe we moved on to our third watch, which I remember was the Swain one. I'm lagging. Hold on. Why can't I? Oh, I just crashed. Nice. I can't. Oh, never mind. It's back. What? This one. Okay, so this was the third one we went through. Yep. Okay, this was the third game we went through, and same. You notice this trend. Same start again. He was doing the same cheese strat. He was following the document. He was doing the same threat. That's great. This was the last VOD we looked at together, by the way. And boom. And what do we learn here? And immediately he already shows me that he was learning from the first two VODs that we talked about. And I hope you viewers are the same as well. Here, what do we do here? We don't change forms, right? I hope that's what everyone thought at the same time. You stick with the melee form. And you actually, because of the Swain's positioning, the Swain was way too deep. The Swain was completely unaware of it. The Swain even walked in, and the Swain doesn't look like he's walking back. You see this? The Swain is close to dead. He actually would be dead. You would just stick on him with melee, auto. You have all the way till somewhere here in front of turret range before you have to switch forms with your Q auto, ignite, whatever you want to do. But my point is, the Swain is dead. All right? So, yeah, that's his immediate learning point. He was like, oh shit, yeah, I could have stayed. Correct. So I'm glad that you're already learning. And that's exactly how you do it with mid lane Jayce. Yeah. So, okay, and then level 2, like I said, usually level 2, Shock Blast, weak, take W. And here, I kind of went back again to talk about the angle of don't forget the earlier point of what I mentioned on Jayce, that if you were lower HP and this was a riskier matchup, you should take W level 2, shove this wave at reset. Not in this case, but I'm just saying. I just wanted to recap that so you don't forget that. Do you remember that? When you like lose, the guy can out sustain you. Take W level 2, shove this second wave, the minions are not even out yet for the third one, barely, shove it, and then reset. Alright? But not in this case, not in this case. But that's what I did though. I just kind of reminded you not to forget that. Okay, and then now stand laning, and we can find jungler now, because now we have so much with dead time, nothing to do now in lane, so just go find a jungler. And we actually find Rengar here. Well, the Rengar even dared to do that, so we just kill him. Yeah, he disrespected our damage, and we kill him. That's great. This was a brilliant start. And then it came down to here we want to base as well, right? Because we have items. Here we fight. Okay. And when I skip past this really quickly, I noticed that the Swain got away with 1 HP. So I wanted to break that down to see the possible things on was it unlucky or was it a skill issue, like we misplayed somewhere. So here immediately what do we notice? We didn't shock blast properly. Yeah, we missed the shock blast. But also, what's more important, it's not the shock blast. What's more important is you need to press W before we change forms. That is when I had some concerns over our players comboing. Like, are we not too aware of the combos? I'll show you this in the VOD later on. But this is where I had some concerns over, oh my, we're not using our W before we change forms. We're losing a lot of damage. And this is no longer a minor point like the ones earlier. Remember the minor points I mentioned was that you don't change the range that quick, you stay melee. This one is not minor, this one's major. You need to W before you change forms. That is a major pointer. All right. So this one is major damage loss. I do see the high elo in him. Like I see these high elo mechanics that maintain where he's weaving abilities. So he's not just running straight into the Swain and tanking abilities, he's weaving them and dodging them. Look right here. I'll slow down here. Look what he's doing. The Swain W walks out and the E as well. All right. So we're able to like gap close, walk closer, and then we dodge out the W. So this shows me remnants of good, essentially, fighting mechanics, which is nice. But of course, yeah, just not to forget the W here and the shock blast, just any one of those things. But the W is more important, like I said. This way would just be dead instantly dead. All right. So that's just mechanical, really, not really a knowledge thing. And here we shove and reset, and that's it. Cool. So that was just mechanical, and we move on. Okay, then now we have another one. This was another one that I said that, wow, these are remnants of good high elo fighting mechanics, which we will look at right here. So here, what do we forget again? We forgot the W again before we change forms. Please don't forget your W when you change forms. Please, it's so much power loss, all right? But anyway, look at the remnants of this. Look at this. This is what I meant in the document when I wrote that document of weaving and dodging abilities. I know someone was saying that, oh yeah, it sounds brief, but at the same time, this is what you mean. This is what you do. Look at this. You dodge out the E, and then you weave you weave out the E instead of walking just a straight line. You weave and dodge out of it, and then now the W is less important to dodge out of, but you still dodged out of it. So that was actually really well played mechanically when it comes to movement. That movement was really good. But of course, we didn't W. So because of that, the Swain kind of got away. And look, if we W, we'd have done a two more auto attacks, he's close to death, and then now we just change forms, one more auto, and the Swain's dead. And he sees it, so that's great. We move on this point. We actually kill the Swain here, and we kill the Rengar too. And that would have been the smurfing moment of this game. You would be the smurfing raid boss Jayce. Alright? So we understood this point. Good. Move on. Again, would have been a double kill here. Of course, the Swain just come back and let us kill him. That's, I mean, cool. But that's, yeah, that's not the main thing though. The learning point was how we messed up mechanically, and we could have played that a lot better. Okay, let me turn on scoreboard here because I remember that we talked about items as well. So he's really strong now, and he found roaming window again. This is good. This is a good trend that what you keep up when you shove the wave, you have access to roaming, and he just roams, right? I know the major thing happened soon. Nope, this was a nice kill. Here, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember it. Yeah. Actually, no, this was just too bad. He died. No, this was nothing much. This was just he tried and then died. That's fine. That's a death I can accept. You know, that's fine. Because the fairy came down as well, Blitzcrank came down as well. It's fine. The mistakes can happen. That's a smaller version mistake, not that bad of a death. It's okay. Same thing here. Same thing here. I'm sure you don't need me to go back that again. He forgot the W. That's all. He forgot the W when he changed forms. So that was a trend, and you would notice what I did with him after. I'll show you this after, but okay, we join for the Drake, and here we have a lot of gold, so we want to reset. I hope that's on your mind. We greed for the plate. That's fine. Really want to reset, but I guess he found a timer on the bot lane. That's okay. Now we have a lot of gold in base, and we choose opportunity. Personally, I would prefer Yomu's because I like Yomu's to be able to run out of Swain's ult. All right, I want to be able to run out of Swain's ult. That's number one. And number two, we talked about dead items. First of all, lucidity in the past was good. He was thinking about the past. It was good because you could go the Shojin into the Sorelda's build, where you can shock blast twice. If you all remember that those times of Jayce, those were the poke Jayce times. All right, where you play with lucidity because of that. Nowadays, though, it's not quite. Boots have low value, so these are essentially low value buys. And he was confused later on. Like I know I'm spoiling a little bit, but I'm just talking on why Swain felt so strong essentially when he feel that he's so much ahead. It's because we're carrying a lot of dead items on Jayce, right? First of all, opportunity is not even the best item in the world to begin with for dueling. It's an assassin item. It's not like Eclipse, like a pure fighting item, right? It's like an assassin item. Secondly, we're holding lucidity. That's a lot of gold on an item that gives us no fighting power. You know, there's not any fighting power. That's why you just stay on either raw boots, symbiotics, or buy something else. In today's Jayce, where AD matters so much, bonus AD, I would rather you go another Dirk, build Hubris, because we're like a raid boss right now. That's what I was saying. So instead of finishing these boots, go Hubris. We will have another Dirk here. I would sell this biscuit and then go another longsword. Does everyone see that in the chat? I hope you'll see that. So you sell this biscuit, you have, like I said, another Dirk here and another longsword. Do you see how this Jayce does so much more damage? Well, he does, so I'm just going to move faster. But that's what I mean, though, okay? You do a lot more damage than holding these dead items. Here's the dead item for now. This boots is a dead item, like the full boots. So he's basically holding a bunch of dead items. The only real item is this opportunity. Which I already said is not a max fighting item. And just because of all these reasons is why he felt weak here, right here. Not only did we not W, I'm going to say that first, we didn't W when we changed forms, but it's also that what is the strongest item in the early game? I always say this to my top lane students. What is the strongest item in the early game? It's Ruby Crystal, yeah? You would know that if you're a top lane player. Ruby Crystal is the strongest item in the early game. It's just so powerful, raw HP. And this Swain has two of it. So yeah, it scales off a little bit in the mid game, like less good, but now it's extremely good at this point, and we are holding a bunch of dead items. That's why at this point he feels so strong. Okay, and with that we rounded up this. He dies here. Just saying. So with this, we rounded up this, and we went to actually look at his combos. Okay, so at the end, I thought that his main one of his issues could be that he doesn't know the combos because he's not, he's not pressing his W. I haven't seen him like full combo someone really cleanly yet.
Yeah.
So I asked him to do some combos. Again, here you don't hear me speaking because I fucked it up, right? So you don't hear me. So I'm just gonna mute it. All you hear is him speaking, which yeah. Otherwise, you guys would have gotten this. But yeah, so you can hear him speaking if you want. But oh, when I saw him do this, look at that combo. That combo is important for us to
I'm
learn.
doing
Okay. Look, so it's a range QE into a W change forms, auto, E. And he did the same here. Look, he was able to do exactly the same combos. E was close to him. He W change forms, auto, E at the end. Look, he did it so smooth. I remember when I was watching that, I was like, wow, you're able, well, in real time at least, because I'm in the chat. I was like, wow, you're able to do it? And he was like, yeah, he can actually do it.
Yes,
and
yes.
I haven't seen it throughout all those 3 VODs that we
Yeah,
looked at.
I know.
It's just, yeah.
Yes, because sometimes I don't think about it. I don't know why.
But yeah, it's just one of those things, and it's about a step-by-step thing. He was probably overloading himself, thinking of too much. So yeah, and I was saying, okay, let's do the melee one now, and he was also able to do the melee one really cleanly. So what should happen soon? This one's the melee one. Yep, I was trying to show him. So Q, auto E, change from auto into a blast. So he did it smoothly as well, so I don't need to show you mine. But that's exactly it. So for those who are not smooth the combos yet, make sure you get the combos down. But he was able to get the combo straight. It was more so the translation into an actual game where he starts panicking or things starts changing and he wasn't able to replicate it. But the combos are great. So really good start for here. And hopefully this would show you what the combos should look like on Jayce. Yep. Take care. Okay, bye.